Hi, I'm Jermaine Sain, and today I'm headed out to Masquerade in Atlanta to speak with Sean and Joel of This Century.
I don't know anything about you. Keeps me up at night. I don't know if I fall back down, break me into pieces. Oh, you are my weakness. Oh, you are my weakness. Oh, you are my weakness.
What's the word today? Bring to life what you say when we speak.
Molten hiwat, Bemilas ich nacho.
It happens in time, the new age sublime. When we speak, clean crystal glass, life all won't last.
Death and life
When we
are in the power of the
speak.
tongue.
Got a reel for you. Understand more the truth when we speak. When we speak.
My name is Joel, and I sing.
My name's Sean, I play guitar, and this is Ryan, he plays drums.
Yeah,
Right, I was
there's,
gonna say
there's
something
one
about that.
other guy, but this is an acoustic tour, so
Okay.
he's not here.
He's
He
hanging
isn't.
out.
His services are not needed.
Not needed right now. And what do you say he does in the band?
He plays
He
drums.
plays drums.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
So how is it different, like doing the acoustic set without the drummer, opposed to just doing?
It forces
Yeah,
you,
but-
I think, to think about your set differently, because a lot of times, you know, you can go on tour and just kind of hide behind the fact that it's just drums and it's going to be full band. That's what you're going to do. So with this, we were like, well, crap.
Yeah, well, and also we were just like, it pushed us to think outside the box with it, and we were like, well, we still want something rhythmic, because our music
Yeah.
is fairly rhythmic, and it's like, I don't want to lose that movement, so we kind of set up it
We didn't
to
want
kinda,
it to be just here's an acoustic set with an acoustic guitar and a singer. So
so we kind of loop a bunch of stuff and
we
kind
did
of create
some
the
loop
beat as
station
we
stuff.
go, and
This is a first for us, so
Okay.
it'll be.
Oh, so you've never
interesting.
done it?
No, this
we've
is the
never
first
done
time we
Oh,
are
okay.
We've never
doing
done the
this.
loop thing, but it's been a lot of fun practicing, and I think the set is going to be a little different every night because I'm building it every night. We're not doing preloaded, so it's going to be built every single night, and
Okay, cool.
it'll be fun.
Cool. So did both of you, or either one of you, was music like part of your childhood and in your house, or did you just were you
both
the
of
us,
I
only
think.
genius in the house?
Yeah, no, my family, it's been all musicians, and
Okay.
I think that I was lucky because I had that like instant support thing that allowed me to not have the pressure of like, hey, you're about to be a musician and be a starving artist for the infinite amount of time. So they were okay with that, and yeah, a lot of musicians in the house. And
Okay.
This is kind of the same deal for me. My mom she's been a piano teacher for most of my life, and then she's also a voice teacher. My dad he was a radio DJ. He did like a choir thing for a while, quartet thing for a while.
he was in a quartet,
Yeah, oh yeah,
like barbershop.
Barbershop.
I
straight
can
up,
see your dad
yeah.
with that flat hat.
And then my brother and sister, they both sang too, and so my brother kind of led the way, and I was like, well, brother can do it, I can do it. So
Okay. So that was kind of both of your destinies.
yeah,
I
I guess
In
so.
other words,
I guess so.
Or I'll be a lawyer one day and just.
yeah. And that's
you know.
what I was going to ask you. What would you be doing
I'd probably
if you weren't
be,
doing music?
I'd probably be.
You got his already.
Yeah,
Lawyer.
Lawyer.
Lawyer. He's almost finished law school. So
Oh wow.
Good thing I didn't finish that. That was one of those good calls.
that would have been bad.
Yeah, that's
What
what
a
a
waste.
time anyway.
It's not
Don't
this.
do it.
It's not this.
Right.
I don't know. I'm really involved in my church, so I'd probably just be like a worship leader.
Okay.
You are the sound of fire burning up the night, and I can't hold a beat to save my life. You are the sound of fire keeping me alive, and I need you to need me to survive.
So what is the adhesive that keeps your sound unified?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I think that the big part of what makes it work, it's evolved over time. So initially, I think when we were first starting out, I was kind of principally writing some of the material and then bringing it to everybody, and then it kind of shaped around that. And then as it evolved from there, it became my brother and I kind of building it and then shaping it in that way. And it started at that skeleton. And then by the time currently it's way more collaborative. I think it's more like, here's this little starter idea or a little phrase or a title, and then it kind of stems from there, and everyone collaborates on it a lot more. And I think that just happens as you learn to communicate over time, because sometimes people are like hesitant to be a songwriter or hesitant to write lyrics.
It was the way we started off was kind of unusual. Well, you were with Ryan for a while, but when I came into the band, it was they kind of were doing a thing already, and so
it was like, here's some songs.
I auditioned, so it was kind of weird, and I didn't really know them. So he was like, here's some songs. So that's kind of how it was for a while. But yeah, it's a lot. It's pretty much collaborative at this point.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of what gives us our sound now.
Was the audition process very hard, or?
No.
You know, most people, they always say, I really sucked at my audition. I don't know why they booked me.
I was terrible. I was terrible. I'm sure of that. But
yeah, we went through some singers.
It was probably the best of the worst.
The best of the worst. Yeah,
okay.
He's in life. He's been the best.
So what was it then? I mean, so I'm guessing you had some input on the.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was honestly, it was just one of those. It's like the universe was like pushing it towards something. Like, he went to the same high school as my brother at the time, and he saw him sing a song, and we had been auditioning singers for about a year trying to find, and it was like a 3-month singer here, a 3-month singer there, and they were all not quite.
You mean the Stevie Wonder song? That's what I had to
sing.
sing.
Yeah, I had to sing a Stevie Wonder song.
I was like, that was my first song that I ever performed.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he saw that, and we kind of were, at the time, more into something that was more rhythmic, and a lot of the singers were like more of like a traditional like rock singer. And we wanted someone that could do something a little bit more flowy, a little bit more rhythmic, and that's how that kind of, it just felt right. I don't know. It's weird. It was very natural, and I think good things happen that way.
It's beautiful.
You know, one of the things I really love, because I love the internet. I'm on the internet. I love the internet. I push the internet. I'm sure you all push the internet.
Love the internet.
But what I want to know is, how do you utilize the internet to gain supporters or supporters of your music?
Well, a good example is probably the Philippines.
Yeah.
It's our best example. Is that was an internet thing. We have a pretty good following in the Philippines, and that was our first international show, and that was all just built off of social media sites like Twitter, Facebook.
Basically, what had happened was our record had come out, and somebody in the Philippines had purchased the record and told a friend that was at a radio station to play it on this like alternative station. Okay. And they played the song, and it got a few spins just out of whatever. And so someone on the internet or on Twitter was like, hey, your song's playing over on the station. So we used Twitter and built a street team over there, all through Twitter. And then the street team started requesting the song on the radio on another station, and it eventually got picked up onto like a top 40 station over there. And then it just blew up and took off. And then all of a sudden, flash forward like a year later, and we were playing our show over there. So
it's crazy.
That was all through Twitter.
We've never been to the Philippines ever. Never.
Yeah, there was no direct contact.
It was just all internet, and then it kind of just snowballed from there.
Yeah.
How does that audience feel? Do you feel any difference from the audience, or?
Well, fortunately for the Philippines, most of them do speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, at least a little bit of English, but there were places like France or Italy.
Yeah.
There were some places like that, and so it's.
Well, even in the Philippines, there's like certain things that don't connect in the way that you think they're intended to, and where you're saying something. So
humor
you kind
is
of
different.
You kind of
phrases are different.
You learn to like key into that when you're getting to the place, even before you play the show, to kind of like see like, are they sensitive to certain things, or just to be a little bit more mindful.
I'm thinking about the flag thing.
Oh yeah,
there was like, we wanted to hang. Some fans gave us a Philippine flag. We wanted to hang the flag, but depending on the way you were hanging the flag, it shows if you're at war or not.
So we were hanging it.
We were hanging it as if the Philippines was at war.
Oh, wow.
So
like freaking out.
So we asked, and they were like, no. Okay. Don't do that.
Wow. So speaking of that, I mean, that's one of the challenges, I guess, with touring in other countries. But what are some of the challenges that you deal with inside the country, or just touring, period?
I don't know. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to run this type of schedule. Like, I think people think like you play the show and then you go home to this like comfortable thing, and then you have like an 8-hour gap before you play the next thing, when it's really we'll literally get up right to the time of the next show, and then you're in it. So you just live in this very like weird cycle of performing and then sort of resting, and then
you don't really get to settle into a routine.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing.
And then when you do, it's so late in the tour that you're all right, I'm ready, and then the tour's over.
Yeah,
I mean, the shows have their routine with like sound check, load, and all that stuff. But as far as the day-to-day stuff, it's just
I think I've probably said this to every band I've ever talked to. Is I tell them I admire them so much for that very thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people cannot do that. You can't, because you all just got here, right?
Yeah.
Just got here, now you're standing here talking to me.
Yeah.
And then after me, you're going to get a minute or two, and then you're going to start performing again.
Yeah.
And then
It's weird how it just kind of like, there's that bounce of like, you just kind of, but it becomes a routine bouncing back and forth like that.
Yeah, you get used to it. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, because it's kind of changed the person who I am. It's made me a lot more comfortable when things come up in life. You get used to kind of just going with the flow.
I don't wanna wait, no, I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait, no, I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait, no, I don't wanna wait for the end this summer.
I believe that there's basically 3 key elements to a song. Okay. This is my interpretation. I know there's
let's
more,
hear it. I'm
but
interested.
you have the mood of the music.
Okay.
You have the intent of the writer, and then you also have the interpretation of the
listener.
vocalist.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Those
That's
3
interesting.
things. I think they work in harmony.
Yeah.
So what I want to know from you all is your song. Let me make sure I got it right.
Oh, it's okay.
is Bleach Blonde.
Uh-huh.
What was the intent behind the song? Did you write it?
I think that was us
two.
That was us two in Ryan's living room writing it, and we had it. I had the title.
He just said, I think that the song Bleach Blonde would just is a really cool title. And that's all it was.
I just like
so it started with that.
Yeah, it just felt interesting, because I didn't know if Bleach Blonde was like an idea of a person or an idea of a mindset or
it paints a
feeling.
pretty vivid picture.
And
just depending on who it is, it's a different thing.
Right, and so it started from that, and I was like, there's so much there. I always like it when there's a title that has a lot there, where it's like it could go a lot of different ways, and it's your job to kind of like funnel it into something that can be a song in some way. So as soon as we had that title, it was like, all right, we got to run with this, because it's got something special about it. I'm big on titles. I love like a great title. It just instantly makes me.
So the intent was, I think, because of the title was such a good title, we wanted it to be descriptive lyrics and kind of paint a picture and a setting. It wasn't really about personal experience.
Yeah.
I mean, we can take.
It was like a mishmash of personal experiences.
Yeah, we would pull from things, but yeah.
Okay. Well, since you all are on tour, and I like to try to leave people with something that's encouraging for another artist who's trying to do what you're doing.
Encouraged.
Well, see, you already doing it. Y'all already doing it. So we trying to encourage other people who are trying to get out there to believe that they can do it, because, hey, y'all did it. I'm doing it. So you can do it.
Yeah.
So if you had to speak to an artist that's about to take on a tour, what would be your advice to them? Their first tour, let's say.
Okay, I'm thinking back to our first tour.
Okay. I would say the best piece of advice is be the best human you can be to the people at the venue.
You're surrounded.
Just be mindful of yourself,
that's
because
a good piece of advice.
I have had countless experiences where from the minute you load in, it has to be that vibe. Like, keep the good show vibe, because it just influences everything. It's the way that you're treated, the way that people do your sound that evening, the way that the lighting is, the way that the catering is. Everything stems from that load.
It can take a turn pretty quickly if you let it.
Yeah.
If you walk in and the sound guy is not a very nice gentleman, that can affect your show completely. So I think we've, over the years, kind of just adopted this, just be nice to everyone, even if they're not nice to you, and it works. I mean, you just try and make it a good experience for everybody, and you're going to have a good time. And also, don't spend too much money on food. Just eat ramen for a while.
Saving money.
Yeah.
So before we go, I want to thank you for joining me today. It's been great. From the time I hit the door, I really enjoyed myself, and I know y'all gonna, do great job tonight.
Thank you.
The show. And thank you for watching When We Speak. I'm Jermaine Sain. These are this century. I almost said the century.
It's okay.
This century. And always remember that death and life and the power of the tongue.